everyone, and welcome to another tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make the Solar Rays bracelet, and this was designed by Looms on Instagram. I will bring up her profile here in just a second. So let me get around here. So here we are at Looms. I will have her name in the description box below if you want to check her out on Instagram and give her a follow for me. This is her account. She creates a lot of original hook-only designs, a lot of which I love, and some of which she does flipograms for, which is just like video picture things, and I just love all of her designs, and I've done tutorials for some in the past. I'm going to do tutorials for some in the future, so you can just scroll through her account and check all of those out. And I'm going to be showing you how to make this bracelet today. So I absolutely love this bracelet. I've made like, I don't know, 5 of them already. But anyway, you're going to need a hook. I'm going to use my double-ended crochet hook. And you're going to need a C-clip here up at the end. And then you're going to need some bands. I used 3 colors of bands in here. Might be hard to see because these are neon yellow, which don't really show up well on my camera, but there's neon yellow, and then there's a lime green band in the center, and then black. So for the neon yellow here, I will be using lime green jelly. And then for the black in this bracelet, I will be using neon green. And then for the lime green jelly in this bracelet, I will be using mother of pearl. And this is like one of the new color combinations that I'm obsessed with, so I'm using it in this tutorial. So anyway, what we're going to do is start with our lime green jelly band. First thing you're going to do is cap the band on your hook. You're going to pull another band through, and before you close, you're going to lift one of those cap band loops. You want to hold it and make sure that it doesn't slip off. And then you're going to take 3 of your lime green jelly bands here. You can pull the first one through the first 2 loops, lift the outside one, it's kind of a fishtail stitch. And then you're going to take the second one, again through the first 2, lifting the outside one. The band is all twisted. And then you're going to take your third one, do the same thing through the first 2, lifting the outside one. So now you should have a total of 6 loops on your hook, 5 on one side and then 1 on the other. And what we're going to go ahead and do is what I like to do is grab the cap band and just slide this off my hook and flip it around. I'm going to take off this first loop and pick up the other end of the cap band. And you're going to take 3 more lime green jelly bands, again pulling a band through the first 2 and lifting the outside one. And you're going to do that 2 more times, so hopefully you have the hang of this now. I'm just going to kind of do it pretty quickly. So now, if you count all the loops on your hook, you should have 10 loops. If you don't have 10, you might want to go ahead and backtrack, make sure that you do have 10 loops on your hook. Now what we're going to do is take 1 mother of pearl band and 2 neon green bands. And the first neon green band you're going to put on, you're going to pull it through the first 5 or through the first half of your bands. Then before you close, you're going to lift up this second loop here. You're going to lift this 4th loop and the 5th loop on the outside and reattach. Now what you're going to do is rearrange these 2 outside loops so that they are outside of this neon green. This one on the outside is going to be pretty loose, but don't worry about it for right now. Now we're going to slide this down to the other end or switch it around. Do the same thing to the other side, so taking your other neon green band through the first 5, lifting the second loop, the 4th loop, and the 5th loop. Rearrange these 2 so that they are on the outside, and pull on that green one a little bit so it will get arranged nicely. Now you're going to take your mother of pearl band and you're going to pull it through the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops. Sorry, I haven't counted them. Through the first 7 loops. You're going to lift these 2 inner neon green bands and these 3 outer bands. And then you're going to rearrange these bands so that it matches the other side. You're going to have 1 neon green and 2 lime green jelly loops on the outside. And now what you're going to do is take 4 of your lime green jelly bands here. You're going to pull the first one through the first 3 loops here. So your 2 lime green jelly and 1 neon green. You're going to lift that outside one. It should just kind of pop up. You're just going to lift it back up onto your hook. Then what you're going to do is kind of hold that so that it doesn't slip out of place. You're going to take your second band through the first 5 loops, and then you're going to lift first, second, and fifth. Alright, you're only going to lift these two, of the neon green and the mother of pearl, and then this one outside lime green jelly. You're going to take your third band, and you're going to pull it through the first 4 loops, and then you're going to lift the first one, or the outside one, I mean. You're going to take your last one, pull it through the first 2 loops, lift the outside one. So now you should have 5 loops on this side that are lime green jelly. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side, so switch it around to the other end and get your 4 lime green jelly bands here. Again, taking your first one through the first 3 loops, lifting that outside one, taking your second band through the first 5, then before you close, lift 1, 2, and then 5. Your first, second, and your 5th loop. Taking your third band, pulling it through the first 4, lifting the outside one, make sure that those bands don't slip around, and then taking your last band through just those first 2, lifting the outside one. So now you should see you have your 10 loops again on your hook, and this is where you're going to repeat the process. So starting with your 2 neon green and your 1 mother of pearl, taking your first neon green through the first 5 loops, lifting the second loop. Kind of hard to skip that third loop, but make sure you go around. Then pick up your 4th and your 5th loops back onto your hook. Rearrange those 2 outside ones so that they are outside of your green. I'm going to go ahead and pull this down to the other end. Do the same thing. Take your neon green through the first 5. Lift the second, the 4th, and the 5th. Make sure you go around the third band. And then you'll have these 2 loose bands out here. Take your mother of pearl through the first 7 loops, lifting those 2 inner neon green and those 3 outer bands. Then rearrange those 3 so that they are on the outside. And now we're going to take 4 bands of the lime green jelly, and you're going to take your first band through the first 3 loops here. You're going to lift that outside one back on, just like that. Take your second band through the first 5, lifting the first, the second, and the 5th loop. Taking your third band through the first 4, you're just going to lift that outside one, and your 4th band through just the first 2, lifting the outside one. So this is what it should look like now. You're going to go ahead and switch this around to the other end here. Again, taking your 4 lime green jelly, take your first one through the first 3, lift the outside one. Take your second one through the first 5, lifting the first, the second, and the 5th loops. Your third one through the first 4 loops, 4 loops, lifting the outside one, and your 4th one through the first 2, lifting the outside one. Now you're going to do this until you reach the length of your wrist, so this is kind of what mine looks like at the end. And then to finish it at the end, just go ahead and pause your video here. I am going to show you how to finish it off at the end, so go ahead and do that. So to finish it off at the end, you might have 10 loops here, but what you're actually going to want to do is take this 4th loop off, the 4th band off, and just leave those bands on so you only have 4 loops here. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, just switch it around really quick, and undo that band. So now you only have 8 loops. I find it a lot easier to deal with 8 loops rather than 10, and I like to pull one band through all 8 and reattach. It just kind of makes for a really secure closure. So that's what it looks like at the end. You pull 8 loops into one, and when you are finishing off a section, you will only use 3 lime green jelly bands rather than 4. So yeah, you can also use 2 bands to finish it if you want. I'm just going to use 1 for today. But that is going to do it for this tutorial, so thank you for watching. Make sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe. I will have EB Looms' name in the description box below. Make sure to check her out on Instagram and give her a follow for me, and keep an eye out for more videos in the future, and that's all I'm going to have for you, so I hope to see you next time.